Just hate when you're just having a day or a moment and somebody tells you, oh, you'll be fine, don't worry about it. Or when you get on social media, everybody's like, positive vibes only, good vibes only. Pretending like it's not cool to be mad or to feel your feelings or to just exist and emote as a human. And my friends are perfect examples of toxic positivity that we're going to tackle today. Today's video, the candle of choice will be the Chai Latte DW Home Freshly Brewed Aroma Candle. I got this from TJ Maxx, and the candle looks like a coffee cup. So you put a little lid on, it looks like a coffee cup. So, you know, it's cute. It's really cute. But that is the scent for today's video. And okay, so toxic positivity is something that I've really been wanting to talk about for a while now, because you see it all over social media, and even people unknowingly are spreading toxic positivity because it's just not always sunshine and rainbows and good vibes all the time. And that's how I feel. Like, I'm just, from the blunt introvert, I'm just speaking my mind. So to begin, I will be supplying the definition of toxic positivity. Pretty much toxic positivity is a belief that no matter how dire or difficult a situation is, people should maintain a positive mindset. It's a good vibes only approach to life. And while there are benefits to being an optimist and engaging in positive thinking, toxic positivity instead rejects difficult emotions in favor of a cheerful, often falsely positive facade. And I got this from the website verywellmind.com. They had a really good definitions that summed up toxic positivity. So I'm not sure if it's the social media influence, but everywhere you go, it's good vibes only, positive vibes only, free minds, no negativity, no bad energies. And that's like everybody's mantra and stuff nowadays. I'm not knocking the mantra, but I do want to say this also contributes to the spread of toxic positivity. It's like you see it so much, everybody's like being fake positive. So it's telling those people, you, in order to feel better about yourself, fake being positive and not feel your feelings. And it's just like a false positive, and I don't think it's pushing the right narrative to people. And it's kind of making people feel bad that, oh, I have emotions or I react to something and I should only be positive or only see the bright side of everything. Which, that's why I say it kind of teeters along the line of optimism, because it is a form of optimism, but it's a very extreme, naive optimism, if that makes any sense. Like, there's nothing wrong at all with being an optimistic person. I really do prefer people to be optimistic. I like to be an optimistic person, and I try to practice that. But I will not sit here and lie and be like, every day is just sprinkles and just nothing ever gets to me. I don't have any bad days, or I never look at any bad situation like it's a negative, because things affect me and I have emotions and I have feelings and I react to them. And it's okay, because that's natural. It's like even the feeling of being unhappy about something or situation. People think that you're a negative person. And the thing is, it's a negative situation that took place. So naturally, as a human with feelings and emotions, you're going to react to it. You're not always going to be gung-ho. I think it's not going to be honky-dory and fine and dandy. Unhappiness is an emotion. It's a feeling, and it's okay to feel that way. You shouldn't feel shameful to be unhappy about something. If you don't have a good day, if something happens and you just don't understand it, hey, I'm unhappy with this situation. I'd rather people recognize how they're feeling and their feelings instead of pretending like it doesn't faze them. It's not okay to always smile through everything to keep that positive appearance, especially when you're breaking down inside. This toxic positivity can also lead to deeper mental health issues because you're not addressing your emotions and you're kind of stuffing and thinking that if I don't pay any attention to it, it's not going to affect me, or it's not going to affect my emotions. But those kinds of things comes out in any type of way or form. It really reminds me of that meme of the dog in the desk and like the room is on fire and he's like, this is fun. And my sister, she sends me that meme all the time. Like every time something goes wrong, it's like, yeah, my car just flipped over and I'm fine. I'm fine. It's okay. Oh, I lost my job and my wife left me. It's fine. Like, come on now. You're not going to be fine. It's okay to not feel fine either. Everything ain't going to go the way you want it to go. But that meme perfectly sums up the just being oblivious and just sitting in a room that's on fire, because that's the best analogy. That's the best way to say it. We're all human. We all feel emotions, even if we feel them differently, even if we react differently. And that's important to recognize those as well. It's just with toxic positivity, it can come off as very harmful. And not only harmful, but dismissive. It's an avoidance mechanism. And it can invalidate another person's emotions, especially if they're coming to you and expressing how they feel about something. And it's not to say, oh, you're just going to tell them whatever they want to hear. There's a way to do it. There's a way to get that point across. And I'm not saying to be negative towards the person, but there's a way to comfort them and acknowledge their feelings. It can also prevent growth in that it allows us to avoid the feelings that might be painful, but it also prevent growth because we're not growing in ourselves and our emotions when we just pretend like everything is good vibes and positive vibes only, because we're not expressing our emotions and it's stunting our emotional health, our emotional growth. I will speak, for example, there have been countless times I've gone to friends or I've expressed how I'm feeling about my life, my situation, an event that may have occurred, some issue that may have arisen, what have you. And you'll have the friends who and sometimes you don't know, if they just don't know what to say, or they think they're saying the right thing, or they just are not aware of what they're saying is a form of toxic positivity. But they'll be like, oh, things will get better. It'll be fine. It could be worse. And it's like, I hear you. I acknowledge you. I get where you're going. I get it. But right now I need a friend. Right now I need for you to be there for me in that, hey, this is what's going on. Really in the best positive headspace right now. And I could really use some words of wisdom or just some understanding. So, for example, even the day I'm recording this video, one of my friends called me earlier and she told me that she was involved in a hit and run. Somebody hit her car, ran. A lot of witnesses, nobody said anything. So now her car is not drivable. So she was calm through the situation, but I know her, and I know sometimes when things happen, you don't really know how to react. So it might take some time, a few hours or just a few moments to really acknowledge how you're feeling. And what I could have told her to be toxic positivity is, oh, it could have been worse. Oh, everything will work itself out. And just be so blanket statement like that. But I was like, no, I'm going to give her in-depth understanding. Hey, that was a pretty effed up situation that happened. Don't internalize it, but also you have a right to feel mad about it because, number one, somebody hit your car and you are a good driver and you were in the right. Number two, all this problem falls back on you. So you do have to acknowledge, okay, you have to pick up the pieces and figure it out. I'm not just going to tell her, oh, everything will fall into place. Eventually things will, but I'm also going to offer that context with it. Yes, you may be out of a car right now, but you've got people around you that are going to support you. I'm going to support you, your sister, your mom. If you need transportation, you have us to lean on, call on. Even in this moment of distress, you are calling your friends and you just need our support and our comfort. And the last thing I want to be is wave to somebody just, it'll be fine. Just stay positive. Look on the bright side. I understand that, but you just have to be able to offer a little bit more than that. So to help get a better understanding of toxic positivity, I've included a few tips on how to avoid being that person that's spreading toxic positivity. Just being able to check yourself as well. So being able to realize like, ooh, that may not be the best thing to say to this person whose parent just passed away, or who just lost their job, or chill, I don't know. Be real on how you feel. That's a huge one for me. I learned about toxic positivity, I'll say last year. And when I really read in depth on it, like I used to be that person that I didn't want to be angry or mad at things because I felt like, that's energy I'm putting towards it. But once I did some inner work and some healing, I found out and I realized it's okay to acknowledge how I'm feeling. It's okay to say, you know what, I woke up today and I was unhappy. That I received an email that I didn't like and it really messed up my mood. It doesn't have to be the direction of your whole day, but it is a contributing factor on how you can move about the day. So that one standalone incident, I would be like, oh, I gotta let go from my job, but I'm not gonna let that ruin my day. But I would be like, no, I gotta let go from my job. I'm not feeling very happy about that. I got to think about my financial situation. I got to think about this, that, all these things are just tied to that one thing. So it's okay to feel those emotions and be mad and angry and sad and numb. And it's not like because you're acknowledging your feelings and feeling them, being real on how you feel, you're not setting a pity party for yourself. I don't want to get that confused as well. Pity party is when like you're sitting in your sulk and you're not even trying. Like you are going to use that for the rest of however long. You can still acknowledge that and be able to move forward and be an optimistic person. So another is feeling a mix of emotions, but not knowing how to identify them. So if you are feeling unhappy, if you're feeling happy, if you're feeling angry, anxious, nervous, stressed, all these can coexist at the same time. You're overwhelmed and you're stressed, but you also are happy over here in your home life, but work stresses you out. It's okay to feel those mix of emotions, but you should also identify all of them. Don't be like, okay, well, toxic positivity in this situation would be, life is fine, but you're stressed out at work. Your kids driving you crazy. You know that you love your life, or you love your husband. You might be in a good financial standing, but you're stressed out at your job, or you got parental issues or family issues, like being angry at family members and angry at bill collectors. Like it's okay to have a multitude of emotions. This is a big one for me, like the example I used earlier about my friend. Another tip, if someone comes to you and they're just coming to you to vent, to just talk, to be expressive, be a listener and supportive first, and reassure that they're heard. Even if you don't understand their situation, even if you've never been in their shoes, even if you may think otherwise. It's very helpful to acknowledge that person's existence in that particular setting, to see their perspective, as well as being able to see the other side. So for me, anytime my friends come to me with anything, anybody talks to me about anything, I see both sides. I'm neutral. Well, I guess 3 sides, because I'm neutral. And then I see their side and I see the opposing side. How all sides can be perceived. And that could be because I'm an empath, which that's more of a detriment than a blessing, but I'll probably do a video on that as well. Being there for support. If your friend is going through something and she's like, oh, I had a really bad breakup and the person just was not good for me and all these crazy things happen. You don't tell your friend, oh, you should have chose better, or, oh girl, I wouldn't have been that stupid. Like, what your friend needs right now is support. Especially if they trust and confide in you. They obviously have some type of trust or insight on what you have to say about the situation. They value that. So even when family members and stuff come to me about things I've never gone through firsthand, I do my best to try to reassure that they're heard, listen to understand, but as well to just be supportive of them and just hear them out, because in certain times, they just need somebody to listen to them. This kind of touches on the other point, but just allow yourself permission to feel what you feel. Don't be hard on yourself and feel like, oh, I'm a horrible person because I'm mad about this incident, but it makes me look like I'm ungrateful or I'm not humble. And you just have to give yourself permission to be like, this is okay. This is fine. This is how I'm feeling in this situation and in this moment. And I just want to get in my bed and not conquer the day. I just want to sit back and just be doing something else, or I'd rather be somewhere else. Like, you just have to allow yourself that. And I'm also saying this for myself too, is because I used to have a very hard time allowing myself to feel anything, to react to anything. And that's due to like some underlying traumas and trigger responses and core wounds and stuff. So I always felt like I had to just always perform at my best and power through. That's a big one. Just power through everything. Like, boom, 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 boom. I still got to get the rest of the day done, but I'm not giving myself permission to, hey, that really hurt my feelings early. And I don't care if it makes me like a sensitive person. That made me feel like I wasn't acknowledged, or I wasn't heard, or I wasn't this, or wasn't that. So it's very important to give yourself permission, because I know a lot of times we're very hard on ourselves. And our self-talk to ourselves is not the healthiest. It's actually very bad. And we never talk to anyone else like that. So that's definitely for those people who have a negative self-talk, or like a very battered self-talk. And I know there are underlying reasons for that as well, as far as trauma and child core wounds, stuff like that. So another quote that I saw was, this doesn't necessarily mean that you should act on every emotion that you feel. Sometimes it's important to sit with your feelings, give yourself the time and space to process the situation before you take action. And this is also from verywellmind.com. And when I read that sentence, I felt like, for me, I like to process things. I don't like to react right on the cusp. Like, I can't just, it takes me a little bit of time, because number one, I want to make sure that I'm actually have a valid reason for reacting. Number two, I don't want to jump to anything. And number three, I don't want to make myself look crazy. I think that's the biggest one. Well, that is the biggest one, is I don't want to look crazy. I don't want to look like a lunatic, or, people think I'm a mad, crazy person. Like, I just have to take the time and the space to process any and everything that I'm feeling. So if it's a situation that happened with work and I felt very uncomfortable, or if it was a situation with my partner or my family member, and I'm just like, I didn't like that feeling. I didn't like that I was disrespected like that. And although I feel how I feel right now, I'm going to give it a day or two to just woosah, to really just filter out my thoughts, think about things, and just figure it out. I do have a few charts from Pinterest that are really great examples of how to avoid toxic positivity, and even some that you do unknowingly, especially some of the sayings. So just looking at it, they have like what you can say instead of saying this, which I think is a very great example. And I think it just takes time to like be able to acknowledge toxic positivity, because even when I was doing my research and reading about it and learning about it, a lot of people do it unknowingly. So it's like that can definitely be reversed and can be changed and can be worked upon. And as long as you are acknowledging that, hey, in that moment, I was a little giving you some toxic positivity or just some false positivity because I really didn't know what to say, or I really didn't understand your situation, or I really didn't know how to be there for you. I just said what I knew to say, and I feel like, and I can understand that situation. It made you feel A, B, C, D. I think it's perfectly fine and reversible if you just know how to correct that behavior when you see it. So looking at the list, one of them is don't be so negative. Instead of saying don't be so negative, they say you can say it's okay to feel bad sometimes. So that, like, people think because you have a bad day or a bad experience, you're a negative person. And it's like, I just had a bad experience. I had a bad time. It does not make me a negative Nancy. It does not make me a negative person. Now, there are negative Nancys. There are downer Darlenes. There are sad Sally, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about you just had a bad day. It's a bad moment, but it's not a bad life. It's unfortunate, And things happen to us and things allow us to react that sometimes are out of our control. And it's like your response to it. You do have to see, hey, how am I going to respond to this? Am I going to process it? Am I going to vent to someone about it? Am I going to false positive myself into everything's going to be all right? Although you're trying to be optimistic, it's not really, because you're not acknowledging how you feel. So, and I just realized I don't have my mic on. What's up, everyone? Quella the Future here. So I noticed while I'm editing that I forgot to include the other chart that I was mentioning in the video, but this one I also got from Pinterest. It has toxic positivity and helpful positivity, how to replace it when you are saying something that's being pushed as toxic positivity. It's a really helpful list that gives more phrases and sentences, and I thought I had a clip explaining it, but I either edited it out or I don't know where the footage is. Here it is, and back to the video. With that being said, I just really wanted to touch on this topic of toxic positivity / false positivity, because I see it way too much, and I feel like you should not be shamed to feel how you feel. Emotions are natural. You're a human, and acknowledge how you feel. Like, just be real on how you feel. That's the takeaway from this. Please let me know in the comments if you guys have experienced any toxic positivity from family members, friends, anyone in your life, or yourself were being a toxic positive person to someone else. I would really like to know. And like I said, it's reversible behavior. If we know how to check ourselves, we can get it in check. And let's stop spreading toxic positivity. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you in my next one. Until next time.